All right, guys. So the next thing we're talking about is checking accounts. Okay. Off on the screen right now, you just see a stock photo I found online of a Bank of America debit card. That kind of brings us to the first point: what type of plastic is associated with a checking account. It's going to be your debit card. Okay, don't confuse it with a credit card. We'll talk about credit cards later on. But debit, DEBIT card for checking accounts. All right. So typically, your checking accounts are going to have extremely little to no interest offered on your accounts. And this is because of the nature of a checking account. It's kind of what we talked about in the banking relationship. Checking accounts, especially with that debit card there that you see on screen, their nature is you can have a lot of transactions at any point of the day for any amount that you can swipe for, right? Every time you swipe that card, you're taking money directly out of your checking account. That card is connected to your checking account. So it's not like a credit card that you pay off at the end of the month. You use it, money gets taken out of your checking and goes to the person you're buying something from. Okay, so these are designed for a lot of transactions, and because it's designed for a lot of transactions, the bank's not going to. Chances are, your typical bank will not give you interest on this on the amount in this account. If they do give you interest, it's going to be the tiniest possible amount of interest that they can give. Typically, the lowest I've seen is 0.01%. So 1/100%, which means like if you had $100 in there, 1% would be $1 per year. Okay, 0.01% of $100 is 1 cent per year. Not a lot of money that you're getting from these. Okay, so they're designed to be a lot of transactions, little to no interest on it. One thing you have to worry about with checking accounts is monthly service fees. Okay, I'm just gonna go to say Bank of America. Since Bank of America is here right now, let's go to Bank of America's website once I can get a window open. So depending on your checking account that you get, you're going to have these. They may be charging you these monthly service fees, monthly maintenance fees, as they call it. Okay, let's go explore checking solutions. Okay, well, type in the zip code. So they can get an accurate depiction or information from the accounts in our area. And here we go. Let's do compare account settings. Okay. So here we have a couple different different accounts. It seems like the one in the middle, the Advantage Plus Banking, is going to be your most common checking account here. And you can see right at the top, they have a monthly maintenance fee of $12 per month. Okay. Now there are ways to avoid, and you can see how it varies, right? $4.95 over here on the Safe Balance to the Advantage Relationship Banking at $25 a month. Okay, so how can we avoid these? Well, one way to avoid focused on the middle one, is maintaining a minimum daily balance of $1,500. So if as long as you keep $1,500 in your checking account, they won't charge you the $12 a month. It's great, right? Except that how much interest are you being charged on a checking account? Little to none. So that's $1,500 that's just sitting there with no interest being earned. In my opinion, it's kind of a waste. All right. Or one way that you can avoid it is have at least one qualifying direct deposit of $250. Okay, that's not too bad. Most people who are working have a direct deposit, so that their paycheck gets paid directly into their bank account rather than getting a physical check that you have to sign and endorse and send off to the bank or go deposit in the bank manually. So that's one way, except, well, a lot of students don't have a constant job that's going to do a direct deposit. Or what if you are a student and you do take you're working part-time during the school year, but then off for summer you're going somewhere, and so you don't have it for those couple months. You're going to get hit with a $12 fee because you don't have it. Okay. Now, I said students, and so there's one little caveat here with checking accounts and ways to avoid the fee. And it says students under age 24 may be eligible for a monthly maintenance fee waiver while enrolled in school. Okay, so if you're 24 years old and you're in graduate school, or you're 23 years old and you're in graduate school, you may be able to not have to worry about that $1,500 minimum deposit or minimum daily balance, or having a direct deposit in there. It may be able to be waived for you. But again, you're not getting much interest on it. And as soon as you turn, in this case, as soon as you turn 24, you may, if you haven't been paying attention to it, you may be hit with an unexpected $12 a month maintenance fee, right? And you just don't want to be throwing money away that way. So it's always a good idea to revisit your bank accounts, your fees, what fees are being charged on your checking accounts or any bank account, and seeing if it's still the right fit for you. I know a lot of people, typically with students, the reason they chose their bank is because that's where their parents banked. And that's fine. It's easy to transfer money from parent to child if that's the situation. But at a certain point, students, we need to focus on what's best for us, or what's best for you, not just what's your parents have done in the past, right? Okay, anything else I want to go through here? These are going to be these are going to be more specific to the account. One thing that is kind of overall is the overdraft fee. So if you spend more money than is in your checking account, you're going to get hit with an overdraft fee. And it's, if you see here, applies to each item that we pay in overdraft. So if you have $200 and you've spent $200 in your checking account and you've spent $100.95 or $195 on Friday. So you only have $5 left. And then you go out and you order Chipotle and you pay $10, right? Well, that's a $5 overdraft. And that $5 overdraft is going to end up costing you an extra $35, right? But let's say you order Chipotle on a Saturday, right? Afternoon. So the banks aren't open and you don't really realize that you've overdrafted. Well, then you are driving home and you fill up with gas and you use your debit card again. Whatever the gas is, add $35 to it because that's another overdraft fee. So now by using your debit card twice when you didn't have the money, you've been charged $70 in fees. You gotta watch out for that. Okay, gotta watch out for that. This account looks like you have to have $100 to open. That's fine. All right, there are some accounts that will be lower, some accounts that will be higher. So it's just what works for you. All right, so keep those things in mind. Maintenance fee is huge. Any other fee associated with the account is huge. Overdraft, maintenance, huge to pay attention to. And pay attention to your age as well, because if you're a student under 24, some of these fees may be waived for you. But as soon as you hit that 24 mark, or as soon as you graduate, graduate college at 21, you may lose this eligibility, and so you got to pay attention to it. All right, guys. Next one, we'll be talking about savings accounts.